people, what's going on? This is Ian here, and welcome back to another Jagged Edge. Also, not going to forget him, there's Chris.
Hey, I'm here.
Yeah, you're still here too.
I'm here. I'm going to talk about some stuff. I'm going to make fun of some things.
Like I said, I'm sitting here running through an intro so fast, I don't want to leave you off the train. Good Lord.
Yeah.
No, welcome back, everybody. You might notice we're a little shifted from where we normally are with our weekly show, but good reason. Very busy, whole lot going on, and a lot of other little tidbits, I guess you can call it, to get posted up, and things that we're just trying to wrap up around here. But that still doesn't stop us from checking out all the good stuff that's going on out there, both in gaming and in movies, even in Star Wars.
Oh God. Let's not start with that.
Deal.
Let's end with that before we go into gaming stuff.
Cool.
Yeah.
Up front, do you want to go into our two trailers we had here?
All right.
So we had the trailer for How It Ends.
How It Ends. Do you know what this is? Did you know what this was before you saw this?
I had no idea.
Okay. It's been on our schedule.
It has. It's you know what I'm starting to find more and more about the schedule. I've been finding that in reality, I know, like, really know maybe 65-70% of this, and then there's just these mysteries that pop up. It's like,
okay.
I see you there name wise, like I see this, but like I don't know what you are.
Oh. Well, this is awesome.
No, this looks sweet.
Yeah, you watched it. I mean, hopefully you watched it.
I did.
Yeah, so I've had my eye on this one for a while. I mean, when I was putting together the schedule for the year, I wanted to take a look at what was coming on in streaming that was going to be big, or something that was kind of fills in to our specific favorite genres and such. And apocalyptic movies definitely hits for a few of us.
Oh yeah.
How It Ends. I mean, Forrest Whitaker, who is just awesome in pretty much everything.
Sure is.
I mean, you could have a video of him picking his nose, and he's going to get Oscar nominated. So, How It Ends is a story about a guy and his father-in-law, or I think, or soon-to-be father-in-law, one or the other. His daughter, the main guy's girlfriend or fiance or wife, I forget. She is on the other side of the country, and some big event happens, and they need to go cross country to try to save her. And it looks awesome.
Yes. I want to say.
Oh, and Forrest Whitaker.
And Forrest Whitaker. Don't forget, with Forrest Whitaker sauce.
Forrest Whitaker sauce?
Yeah.
I don't want that. I just want his acting. And that eye.
It's signature.
It is.
It's signature. I was going to say my renaissance, my apocalyptic renaissance started with I Am Legend. That's when I think I really, really got back into this kind of theme. And it's been pretty solid since. We've had good releases, and this does not look to be short of that. Now, I'm excited because as well, it's not necessarily doesn't look like a Luke Cage style deal, like with the hour here, hour there, like a series that
No, it's a movie.
Right. It's not a series. I don't have to book through it like that. But just having a good stream movie, that's going to be fun. It's going to be a really fun watch.
It's our second Netflix one this year. They've all been on the latter half. I think we have one more yet. Jason and I just knocked out Cargo, which was a great zombie movie. We're going to be doing The Girl with All the Gifts here soon, which came out in the U.S. last year, but we're going to be doing a review on that because we get kind of the whole zombie thing going. I mean, this isn't quite the same thing. I mean, obviously, you think about zombie, you think apocalyptic stuff. This seems to be some kind of series of natural events, maybe space related. They don't really tell you much, but it looks like it's going to focus on dealing with these apocalyptic happenings as they happen. This isn't post-apocalypse or anything like that. This is a as it happens and how the world is changing and surviving it as this is going on, which looks really
which I'm fine with. I like some mystery behind the disaster. Don't give that away. That's the fun part. So
Right, right. I mean, yeah, and so the story is obviously, it's the whole son-in-law, father-in-law kind of relationship, which is always strained, and hey, you're screwing my daughter, and the guy's like, oh, I'm screwing your daughter, don't kick my ass, and that whole thing. Amongst everything that's going on is the whole wanting approval and disdain for the
Yeah.
boyfriend and stuff. So, and living up to expectations and all that. So, it looks interesting. Looks like a lot of
Yeah.
fun. I've had my eyes on this one for a while, and I was glad to finally see a trailer for it.
Yeah.
It's coming out in a few weeks, next month.
There you go. And hopefully, there's not the awkward in-law vibe. I like the whole in-law deals where it's more like, son, come over here.
Well, and then Forrest Whitaker just like pulls out a knife.
That's the thing.
And he's obviously got some kind of military training or some kind of police or military training background. It's like, oh, it's not just Forrest Whitaker. It's Forrest Whitaker kicks ass. Like did you ever watch S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Yeah.
That was such a good show. And he was in there for a whole season where
I remember.
he was a detective. That was so good. Such a good TV show. It upsets me that people don't talk about that show anymore because it was so ahead of its time. And I mean, even like, I think it ended several years ago, 10 years from when it started. If it was like on TV right now, it'd still be just as good. It was so cutting edge.
I was just about to ask, what was its run like? But man, wow.
I think it only ran for 4 years, maybe 5. No, I'm pretty sure it was just 4 because, by the time they ended, by the time they got to the 4 seasons, like, geez, we're kind of killing off people, and we've kind of put people in inevitable situations where they're going to want to kill each other. We really can't go any forward with this show. So it had its run, and when it was done, and it was so good.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, our second trailer in line here is coming at you Thanksgiving, Creed 2.
Yes, I've been looking forward to this one as well.
Lots of shades of Rocky. Heck, not even shades. I'm talking about let's get out of the shadows. Let's bring the direct person there. Sly himself, Sly Stallone. He is going to be in this film, and he is alongside Creed's son as a trainer.
Yeah. That's just like the first one.
Just like in the first, still continuing along those lines. This looks cool.
But they're going to take on Drago's son.
Yeah.
I will break you.
I must break you. Every time I see that still, I think of Kit Kat bars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Break me off a piece. No, I mean, this is awesome because, this is the true Creed story right here. I mean, obviously, Drago killed Apollo Creed.
Right.
In the third one. Or no. Was it the third? No, it wasn't the third one. Which one was that? It was the fourth one.
Rocky 4. Yep.
Yeah, it was the fourth one. So, I mean, this is a personal story. This is like 30 years in the making right here.
Yeah, it is. And I'm really curious about the family drama behind this. There's some, especially sport, boxing related movies that are able to really sustain that kind of narrative in a really cool way. I think back here, there were a couple. I know $1 Million Baby wasn't quite along those lines, but it still had some fun, some good intrigue to watch alongside of it. There was another about, you got to forgive me for names here. There's another recently about a fighter who was doing so to really try to carve out a path for his son to get out of the squalor, live a better life, things like that. I'm forgetting what that was, but no, this has got history laced all over it. I mean, if you've been watching movies any amount of time, the Rocky films are stoic legends for a reason. And having an extra part of that history expanded on is just awesome. And the thing in all this, and I'm really curious to see how it plays out, is how the rest of Creed's family takes this. Of course, they know the history behind that's engraved in them with the Drago name. Of course, besides Creed himself pushing, besides Rocky himself pushing him on, what would others say about this quest? There has to be voices out there that think this is just a fool's errand, or something to even attempt. This is not the kind of glory that you go to grab at. This is not a legacy that you revisit.
Well, and I mean it's funny because yeah, Drago kills Creed, but at the same time, the fight that Rocky had with him, I mean, that left an irreparable damage to Rocky,
Yeah.
and pretty much paved the pace and the story for the last two Rocky movies,
Yeah.
in many ways. So I mean, it's not just that he killed Creed. I mean, he basically destroyed Rocky's career too.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not just about getting revenge and accomplishing revenge, but at the same time, it's like surviving this task.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's a lot here.
Not an easy road. Work cut out for him, but looks awesome. This
Oh, it's
I'm on the dock
Killmonger,
for
dude.
it.
He'll kick his ass.
Yeah, of course he will.
It's
Of course.
Killmonger. You just put on the Black Panther suit. That would be funny if he showed up in the Black Panther suit and was like, "Ha ha, bitch! What are you gonna do?"
All of a sudden, this just got really unfair.
It just the fight's 5 seconds. It's just a bloody mess in the middle of the ring.
Oh,
Horrible third act, horrible ending. But I would laugh. I'd just
I know you
just for it. I'd give him extra money just for doing it.
Oh man.
I'd actually be one of those guys in the theater just before it happens. I'd like hit the guy in the shoulder next to me. Yeah, watch this. Watch this.
As
You're not gonna expect this.
As you get your bunch of crunch.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Good deal. Hey, speaking of movies, there's a new Turtles movie in the works.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you think of that?
Hey, man, look, I think back to Turtles movies, and I think of my early days at elementary school in my PJs, having some pepperoni pizza. Cowabunga, dude. Having some pepperoni pizza, watching Secret of the Ooze. And
okay, I'm sorry.
No, I love that movie. That's all.
So you're sitting there in your PJs eating pizza in the morning?
No, it was night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good. We, order in like for a Friday night or something.
Oh,
I'd have
okay.
my cuts of pizza and I'd watch Turtle. I was crazy about the live action Turtle movies. But
those were, I mean, the first one I would almost say is borderline classic.
Yeah.
The second one's fine. It's okay. Vanilla Ice with the whole Go Ninja Go. Yeah, but the third one is the third one. Yeah, third one's when they go back in time.
Right.
And I watched most of that. I fell asleep. She was my girlfriend at the time. She's like, "You gotta watch. You've never seen the Turtles in time." All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's try it.
I fell asleep. Then the fourth one was the animated movie, which I've seen most of. I have not seen all of it, and that actually was pretty good. The fourth one, that's actually supposed to be the sequel to the live action movies. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, now out of the last Ninja Turtle movies that we've gotten, though, I saw the first one. I did not see the second one. The second one bombed. It lost money. I think it brought in something like $245 million, but it lost money. Because, these are CGI fests, obviously.
Right.
So, I don't know, and that's a big question. Is this going to be part of the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be something new? God, I hope it's something new.
Yeah, same here. I mean,
they just didn't attract people.
No. And looking at the banner, who this is under, it's being produced under, what was it, Platinum Dunes?
Yeah, which is Michael Bay's and a couple other people's. It's their production studio.
Right. So, hopefully, you go a little easier on the Bay. More of what we love Turtles for, and what we've always loved these for. But you mentioned this too in your note about this one. Paramount is under a new chairman right now.
Yeah.
And one thing he's been pushing a lot is cleaning up franchises, like big time, things that have set in the round studio, maybe gathered some dust or just, accumulated too much mold, whatever you want to call those. Yeah. He's been really pushing this number one priority, and hey, what a way to do it than something beloved like this. So,
well, I want them to take their time on this. I think it's actually too soon. That last Ninja Turtles movie just came out 2 years ago.
It wasn't long at all.
No, I don't know. Take your time on this.
Yeah.
And geez, it's too soon. I think one way or the other, it's too soon.
Yeah.
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 I guess. I don't know. I mean, I used to love it. I loved the live action. The first one.
Yeah.
I used to watch the cartoon in the mornings
Classic.
before school.
It's like, wait, what were you
And I'm
doing?
9 years old with my lunchbox going to the mill.
Oh man.
Yeah, before school. Yeah, I loved it. I had a bunch of the action figures and stuff. I mean, they're
Same.
great. But
Same.
yeah, just take your time on this one. Don't rush it.
Yeah.
Don't go down the Transformers path where you come up with 5 movies, and then the Bayverse finally puts out their first decent one. At least so far, it looks like the first decent. Well, no, the first one was okay.
Yeah.
But it's been 10 years.
Woo.
Yeah. So, and then the Bumblebee movie's like, hey, look at that! It's a period piece. They actually look like their cartoon counterparts, but it's too bad your franchise has already been buried. Yeah, don't go down that road. Just take your time. Focus on what people want. I know that there was a new cartoon that they were in development with, or they actually came out with, where a lot of people were upset because they did a lot of changes to April O'Neil, and I guess there's a lot of unnecessary stuff. And
What they do to April?
I forget. The social justice warriors did a bunch of stuff, and the anti-social justice warriors flipped out about it. It didn't seem to make too much of a difference. I mean, that's like, we could easily end up in a broader conversation about that.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to get into. It's just, April O'Neil is who she is. Yeah. Just
I was about to
leave it alone.
About to say April seems like a kind of hard role to bungle. It just that if anything, that's like the last thing I'm thinking of when I'm thinking of Turtles movie. April's April. It's fine. Yeah. Leave her alone.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Okay. I'm not. It's all speculation at this point. So
fair enough.
The one thing to remember about this whole thing was the last reboot. Remember how Michael Bay openly said that he was going to change it so that they weren't teenagers and they weren't mutants.
Yep.
They were aliens.
Yeah.
And the uproar on this was so huge, he actually ended up changing it. So I do not feel comfortable with the hands that this is in right now.
I want Ninja Turtles, except I don't really want things that make them the Ninja Turtles. Is that cool?
The story is so much cooler. You'll love it. No. No. I remember he bitched and moaned about it too. He's like, what I was gonna do was great. But no. What you ended up wasn't that great either. Yeah, so just be careful. I've got a feeling I'm not gonna like what they're gonna do though.
There you go.
Stupid idiots.
Well, speaking of turnabouts of things that you might not expect to come out of the woodwork, so we got something on the Marvel side here, and on one of my
not the Marvel Studios,
not the Marvel Studios side. That's important.
Sony Marvel side.
And when you're talking about web slinging, though, you got my attention. This is being made on Sony's side. It's the movie for Silk.
Do you know who Silk is? Do you even know who Silk was before you read this?
Yes, she was the she's like that Korean American.
Korean American who they just retrofitted right into. Hey, that spider bit her too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah,
but this is way too freaking soon.
Yeah, this just kind of popped up out of the blue. This is a report out of Variety. This is in development with Amy Pascal. She's going to be based on Spider-Man character Silk. She's bitten by, as you said, the exact same spider that bit Peter Parker. Coincidentally, the same day he got his powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right after. Right after the same. They were classmates.
Oh my gosh!
And so they were on the same field trip.
Now, talent-wise, producing this, I mean, Amy Pascal, that's an awesome name. I mean, that harkens back to Spider-Man: Homecoming, along with Mr. Foggy himself.
Yeah, so she's producing a lot, or is involved in a lot of the Sony Spider-Verse movies that they're putting together. This is supposed to be in the same thing.
I see.
He goes on to say that she was a producer of Spider-Man: Homecoming, and they casted Cindy Moon, the character that played who's Silk,
right?
In Homecoming, and some people are like, "Oh, is that going to be the same person?" And is it going to be the same actor? Who knows? Who knows? Because Venom's going to flop anyways. So because
Yeah.
it looks horrible.
Oh, not enough meat on the bones yet.
Why did Sony do this?
What Venom?
No, just this with the
Oh,
Spider-Man property. Dude, this goes back to not even 5 years ago
yeah.
with Amazing Spider-Man 2. And they're like, hey, we got plans for a Sinister Six movie. We've got plans for a Green Goblin movie. We've got plans for an Aunt May spy flick. All this. Dude, you have one successful Spider-Man movie out right now. You've got another one that's coming out in October that's questionable. You've got ideas for Silver Sable and Black Cat, which is that's a cool concept.
That can be cool.
You've got ideas for Morbius, the Living Vampire. That's fine.
That can be cool.
But why Silk?
Yeah, this is
mean,
left field.
She was inserted into the whole thing, and it's fine. It was okay. The story is kind of cheesy as to where she was this whole time and all that stuff, and it was kind of dumb. They went through most of it in the Amazing Spider-Man. She's had her own comic. I don't know if it's even still going anymore or not, but she's fine. Generally speaking, the Spider-Man fans have accepted her into the world, mainly because she doesn't get injected into it too much anymore.
Right.
It's like, okay, so you're here and you did a thing and that thing happened and now you're gone. But yeah, I mean, she's still got her own stuff going on, I guess. But for someone who follows the Spider-Man comic, Amazing Spider-Man, I have not seen her in a long time. And I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But if she pops up again, it'd be fine too. She's kind of annoying. She shoots webs out of her fingertips because that's a Spider-Man ability.
Yeah.
When he did that in the Raimi Spider-Man movies, you could tell like where the webbing came out. It looked a little funky, but shouldn't that be like huge like globs like right there on the wrist? Like shouldn't her hands look like what's that one character from Sonic that I always make fun of for his
Knuckles?
Knuckles. Her hands should look like Knuckles, right?
Oh man.
Shooting out spider webs like that. She has an enhanced spider sense, like whatever sense. But she makes clothing out of her webbing.
So weird.
Why? What are you doing? I thought this whole thing was gonna. She's clearly a hero, but she walks the line a little bit. But I thought this whole Spider-Man universe was going to be like anti-hero stuff.
Right.
Dark and mature.
Nope.
And not to say that they can't do that with Silk, but I thought it was going to be ambiguous, if not clear, that this was part of the greater MCU, kind of a side universe going on in the same universe, but not interacting kind of. But they've already introduced Indy Moon in Homecoming, and she's like 16 years old.
Yep.
I don't know. Just this is what Sony does. So they had a hit with Homecoming, and so now like Venom and Black Cat and Silver Sable and Morbius and what else can we do? What else can we spit out? I mean, if they were going to do something like this, gosh, start working on the clones. Well, I guess they haven't done anything to establish the clones yet.
No. Also, one of my good old favorites we've talked about before, Scarlet Spider.
Yeah.
Loved him.
Yeah, there's multiple versions of him.
Yeah.
Pick one. Go with it. They haven't done any of the clone stuff yet, though. They haven't even given a reason for somebody to even want to clone Spider-Man, so I guess they can't do that. But it's just like, guys, just chill out. It's your movies. Jesus.
Everybody wants some of that MCU pie.
Yes.
Man, it's kind of like when you had the hit with Wonder Woman and the DC went in all kinds of directions after that.
Yeah, they're still not sure what they're going to do.
No, they're still not.
I heard some stuff about Batman this week where I was just like, you know what? This is such a mess and so unclear that I'm not even going to talk about it. But now that you've brought that up, I'm going to talk about it. Especially because I don't want to talk about Silk anymore because the subject's dumb.
What you got?
So, yeah, the whole Batman thing is they're talking about, the Batman movies are going to be a prequel for possibly the DCEU, maybe not. Depending on how these are received, It's going to be kind of a soft reboot to introduce somebody new as Bruce Wayne / Batman into the DCEU if it goes well, or if you want to make things even more confusing, this may be related to the Joker origin movie.
Oh, weird.
Yay! Warner Brothers can't get their shit together. Gonna make it all confusing. Now, don't forget that we're getting a Joker movie too. Not just the origin movie, but we're also getting that Joker movie.
Then what?
What is the point? What is? Yep. Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yeah, I'm already getting cross-eyed with that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a much better theme when you have a plotted, charted course, and you just do that and you just march along with it. The more you spin this stuff on the fly and throw things on the wall, seeing what'll stick, the more incongruous your whole theme is going to be, and just doesn't even stream together properly. But no,
people are going to get annoyed with this. Depending on who you are, but in general, most people know more about the movies they're going to see than a lot of studios think.
Yeah,
especially when it comes to this comic book stuff. Now there is your audience that just doesn't know. It's like, oh, it's Batman, I'm going to go see it.
I mean, I was going to say, I even have a close family friend that they love seeing the Marvel movies. That they don't know a thing about the comics, but they just like it. So they walk in and they're blown away each time because they have no history for this.
Batman's got a little bit more of a diehard following.
Yeah.
And it's a big one too. And if you're gonna here's Batman, and maybe he's in the DCEU, maybe he's in this Joker prequel universe, origin universe, or maybe none. People are not, dude. They're gonna get pissed and they're not gonna see this. That's the whole thing. That's the thing that's going to happen, unless it looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, if it looks really good, then it looks really good, because Batman can pull that off.
Yeah, he can.
But generally, I've got a feeling that if this doesn't look anything less than jaw-dropping, then people just aren't going to see it. They're just going to be pissed. They're going to be annoyed. Like, why even get into this Batman?
Oh, man. Did not know about that. Maybe it was best I didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and that's why I said ultimately.
Yes.
We don't need to talk about this.
Yeah, fair enough.
But there, I talked about it.
How about the other mess? Or you want to push that back a bit still?
Oh God, did we have anything else after?
Yeah, we got a couple mergers to talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick, and then we'll get to Star Wars.
Let's check it out. AT&T and Time Warner merger. If you've been watching the business sector, tech sector, you've seen this big guy looming on the horizon here. It doesn't look like the Justice Department is going to appeal the judgment that that allowed the merger to go through. So there you have that. Now this is substantial because the seal would effectively be the second largest mobile phone provider, and the third largest home broadcast provider, and second large pay TV provider, with an absolutely ridiculous amount of contact from Warner Brothers and Turner Broadcasting. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah. People get upset about these things. This happens. This has happened before. It's good. These giant companies, they merger up, and whatever happens. But then other companies come along.
Yep. And
let CNN /HBO /AT&T /Warner Brothers do whatever they're going to do.
The beautiful thing about tech is, as you're saying, you can have your eye on one ball that you believe is permanent, that can never be changed, the island that can't be rocked, that it's going to be there forever, and all of a sudden that new thing, that new channel, that new invention, that new service, a new way to deliver that entertainment that you've been watching comes along, and it slowly starts to make that previous one obsolete. So, as you're saying, I'm actually in agreement. That doesn't necessarily spell a permanent doomsday. It's going to be an absolutely incredible with just everything they're actually putting together with this, but there is such thing called innovation. It can still happen,
right? And I think from this we're going to see some innovative ideas.
Yeah.
And none of these companies are so high up on the mountain that they're going to be able to just like what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to be able to own a whole market of something. I guess when it
Right.
comes to sports,
Monopolize it.
because yeah,
Yeah.
monopolize. Thank you. They're not going to monopolize anything. They do have a lot of sports stuff. They've got a lot of baseball and basketball stuff, but
Right.
I'm not I don't even sit close enough to that fence to know what that looks like.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess if I was a big baseball, basketball guy, I'm like, hey, I can get all this stuff on my freaking AT&T phone now, or so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the ramifications of this at all.
Yeah. In other words, you're not worried about them making Mirage a Zeo Matrix. From this.
No,
Okay,
no, and
cool.
when it comes to their phone services and their internet service, well, their internet service is laughable. If you
Yes,
AT&T is horrible.
yes it is. I have it. Yeah, you talk about my terrible upload.
Is that
Yeah.
what that is?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is, Chris.
Is that why sometimes when you're downloading a GIF, sometimes I can hear the slowdown when we're
Yeah.
talking?
Yeah, and you'll hear the yeah.
Yeah, no, AT&T is garbage. So at least on their internet, I don't have their phone service. I've never had their phone service, so
So,
I'm not
yeah.
worried about this. I think there might be some cool, interesting ideas that come of this, or it's just all going to implode, or maybe it'll just be what it is.
Yeah. So, the beat goes on. And it also goes on for Disney, who, mind you, offered Fox $71.3 billion with a B for its assets. Now, Comcast still has an opportunity to make a bid against it again, but honestly, I think the general feeling is out there. This is it. This is where the bidding's going to stop.
In unrelated news, I won the lottery and got $71.3 billion, and I bought a dozen islands, and am now the dictative ruler of those islands, and I now have a seat at the UN. And that's what I did with $71.3 billion.
All right. So
Or I could buy a bunch of movies and cartoon franchises.
there's that. There's that.
Good God. $71.3 billion.
That's insane.
But
That's
we'll get Fantastic Four and the X-Men back in.
yeah. At least we'll get them
So
back.
I didn't have to spend it.
Yay,
I'm only going to spend like $10 for a ticket
man.
and a little bit of bunch of crunch at the movie theater. That's
You,
all
you
I'm spending.
if you've seen high stakes bidding, it doesn't get much crazier than this. The last bidding session I got to sit in on was the when I was at Combo Breaker for a money throwdown tournament. You bidded a certain amount to get a mystery teams. It was like 13 teams or so picked at random, and people kept raising it up to the point where I think it was at like a $80-$90 minimum to get in. But that's the last little bidding war I got in. Nothing of this caliber, nothing of this scale.
71.3 billion
I just yeah.
billion dollars. Can I just have one of those billions?
Right.
Can I have 1/4 of one of those billions?
The amount of fortunes that represents is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's crazy.
a million is even more than a lot of people see in their lifetime.
We've gone through the Fox assets deal and what they're getting out of that. There's a lot of stuff in there.
There is.
I mean, that's crazy though. God. That's a lot. All right.
One Mickey to rule them all.
It is. One
Yeah.
one little mouse. It's crazy.
Oh man.
$1 billion. All right. Well, hey, I love capitalism, but really, I mean, there's times it's like, really?
Yeah.
Really? All right. Okay. All right. We'll go with that. We're doing that. All right.
You do you. You do that.
All right. Can I rip through the Star Wars shit now?
Here comes a mess.
All right. So there's been a lot of crazy Star Wars news that's been coming out for the last couple of weeks. I asked Ian if I could introduce this topic because it's a mess, and even since I put together the notes, there's been more stuff. So, and I've already edited the notes for this a couple times. So here's some concrete things that I will tell you. There are multiple sources saying that Billy D. Williams is going to be in Episode 9. He's been seen getting ready for this movie. Please. Yeah, you're not too happy about that, are you?
No, I am.
No, because are you? Because I want to say, please don't kill him.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Hey, we're back over to Abrams. I've said it since.
I mean, unless it's a droid or in like an alien suit, it gets killed if it's from the original trilogy.
Change of the old guard. I've said it since Empire Strikes Back. I've been wanting to. I really want to see him again. No,
I do too, but I'm worried he's going to die.
legitimate fear. I get it.
All right, so I'm betting he's going to be in there. People
Yeah.
have wanted it. They need some star power, quite frankly.
Yeah,
Star Wars is in trouble,
yeah.
so I'm not surprised to hear it. It seemed like an ace that they weren't too sure if they were going to play or not, but yeah, it makes sense that they're going to do it. Disney's pushing back on this a little bit, but it definitely seems like they're at least slowing down the production, if not currently halting production on the anthology movies, which would be the Obi-Wan Kenobi and the recently officially announced Boba Fett movie. By the way, I don't even think we had a chance to talk about that. But the Boba Fett movie, did we even get a chance to talk about that, did we?
Very briefly.
Do we give a shit about
No.
a Boba Fett movie?
We grazed on it, and that's pretty much what we both reached. Or we talked about that on the show.
I mean, when I was a kid, I thought he looked cool too. My brother was the biggest fan. He's one of those guys. Boba Fett. This guy he's a joke.
Yeah, I mean, he looks so
he
cool.
does nothing.
He looks so cool. He even had a Mega Man X villain that looked a lot like him. So
I get that he looks awesome, but
yeah,
I mean, this guy does nothing. And he's cheapened even more that he's a clone.
Yeah.
Not that him being a clone is cheap, but the fact that there's literally been hundreds of thousands of others just like him.
yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Boba Fett, I've never been impressed. He's a joke in my opinion. And I'm one of those guys. I'm not going to talk too much about that. But in all honesty, I mean, why? Why? Why a Boba Fett movie? It is canon that he got out of the Sarlacc pit.
That's canon.
That is canon.
Oh, okay.
It was in a comic where somebody had his suit of armor.
Okay.
So he got out. He is alive after that.
Gotcha.
That was in Legends as well, and there's a whole other thing I don't care. But Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, I really wanted to see this.
Yeah.
I think we still will. But of course, the halting of this and other things, a lot of people are talking about that because they're saying that they want to make sure to put focus on Episode 9 because
Well, they should.
They're worried. Disney is worried.
Yeah.
Disney is worried about their huge. It's not $71 billion investment, but it is a $4.1 billion investment.
It's substantial.
And some people have said, "Oh, they've already made their money back." No, they haven't.
Mm-mm.
They may have had, income up to $4 billion, but that is not entering in costs.
Right.
So they are far from having made their money back on this.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot going on around that now. Now, a couple weeks ago, it said that Kathleen Kennedy may be stepping down in the fall. Please, God. Please step away in the fall. There's been some rumors about Rian Johnson's trilogy being canceled. That was too good to be true. That came out later on the same day that no, it wasn't. But I do believe that it is getting pushed back. And the other trilogy that's going to be coming out from the guys from Game of Thrones, which is typically known as the D&D trilogy, because their first names start with D's. Um, that, and I believe this to be fact. That this has had no pushback. Is that
Got it.
that trilogy will now be the next trilogy,
Okay. Okay.
and everyone's really pointing at that being Knights of the Old Republic. How much of the Knights of the Old Republic did you play?
Oh, dude, I only played it vicariously.
Okay, I never
Yeah.
played it either. My brother, he swears on it practically like it's a Bible, and a lot of Star Wars fans do. I'm sure you've heard that before.
Oh, they do,
They
dude.
they love it.
Yeah.
They love
Yeah.
it. And this is why I kind of define myself as a fan of canon, because it's not canon. It was at one point George Lucas had said, "Sure." It was just kind of off the cuff. Somebody asked him, "Is Knights of the Old Republic canon?" And he's like, "Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure.
It's canon now. We'll go with that."
Ah,
Um, but it's not canon. But a lot of people want it to become canon. Uh, Here's the thing, though. I think they're I think they're pushing the trilogies. They're swapping the trilogies because I think they understand that the heat for the franchise and the heat for Rian Johnson. I think they get it now. At
yep.
least they get the fact that it's real.
Yeah.
It's real and it exists, and it's not going anywhere until they fix it.
Right.
So I think part of that is, we'll push it aside here, and maybe they'll forget all about Ryan. And no, we're not going to forget.
Oh, hey, no, not Star Wars fans.
Yeah. No, you're talking about the same Star Wars fans who, the first time they saw a movie 35, 40 years ago, they can still remember that, they had to research the name of the guard who was third from the right in the second row, but they still know that name.
Golly, man.
That's your fan base. So they're not going to forget Rian Johnson. And if you try to mask them, they'll find out. They'll find that out too.
Oh yeah.
Then recently, even today, I was hearing that there's might be some alterations to his trilogy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's got to go. There's an argument to be made on whether or not you bring back Luke and what you do with Luke.
Right.
Rian Johnson has to go. That for most of the people who are boycotting, they're not all like me, where I will go see Star Wars. I just will not see any of his stuff.
Right. Right.
But the majority of them are, I'm not going to see any stuff.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
The TV show is still a go. The cartoon show, which is anime style, I think we talked about that before.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be anime style, so you're going to love that. I'll probably love it too because it'll be anime style, but it won't be cheap.
Right. Right.
Which is what I can't stand about the anime style. That's why I love Voltron, because that is not cheap. That is quality animation.
Man, dude, you want to see some quality? Just talk to me. Just talk to me.
But you know what I'm talking about, though. Most of that anime stuff is just generic.
No, I hear you. No, man, look here. I'll leave this just right here. I'm not even going to go into it.
Okay.
Sword of the Stranger.
The cartoon's still going. TV show's still going. Episode 9 is the focus. And they're trying to thin out. It appears they're trying to thin things out a bit so that episode 9 can be the best it could be. Gee, that's funny. I mean, you're Disney and you're spending $71.3 billion for assets. If you have that kind of money lying around, why didn't you do that to begin with? That's the thing, and that's what some people. You'll see some people make this argument. I've done it again on the show too. You're Disney.
Yeah.
You have all the stuff, and if you don't have that stuff, you have the money to at least buy or rent that stuff. You call up Ron Howard and say, "Yeah, I need you to sub," and Ron Howard subs. That's nuts.
Whew.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Disney does.
You're 70% done with the film, and you say, "No, let's start all over." Ridiculous.
Monday.
But I mean, that was the whole thing, and that's why those of us who have been against the Star Wars franchise have been like, look, you got to hit them when it counts. I would not have seen, again, and I've said it before, I'll say it again, I would not have seen Solo if we were not going to review it. I would not have watched it. I would have been sitting there boycotting. This is, and it's gonna be worse because now now those who are against the franchise right now, I mean, some of them are trying to organize this, but most of it's not organization. Most of it's just people,
Yeah.
how they feel about these movies and whether they want to go see them again or not.
Right.
But now that they saw what they could do, and now they saw the damage that they could cause, it'll be even worse for episode 9 because now they know it works.
No pressure.
So, I mean, you're gonna have to, yeah. Luke Skywalker, green lightsaber, a lot.
He's got to be there. He's got to be there.
And just have him cut off Ryan Johnson's head. Just CGI that. Vroom.
Or, take some of Mark Hamill's direct. Mark Hamill's was really excited in episode 8, hoping that he'd be able to make a call on the part where Luke shows back up, or on the way he imagined Luke reinserting himself back in the series.
He was originally going to die. The original
exactly
copies of the script did not. I think the first one that Mark Hamill saw had him dying, but initially Luke was going to be in episode 7. So more than 10 seconds. Anyways.
Yeah, right.
No, and by the way, I'm not calling for the death of Ryan Johnson. I'm saying that in jest.
There you go.
But if Luke was real, you might want to solve a problem.
Yeah, like I'm saying it in jest, but man.
Yeah. Get it together. I think a lot of this, because a lot of this has had pushback. I think a lot of this is Disney just stirring up the pot. They're throwing everything in the pot right now, and they want to confuse people. I think there's a lot of pride at work here.
Yeah.
Disney, in general, does not put together a lot of flops. They've had some, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But when you're Disney and you have a Star Wars movie and you lost $50+ million,
yeah,
that's how do you screw that up? Get rid of the Boba Fett movie.
Yeah,
it's not.
You don't need that. Yeah,
people don't want it, which is ironic because the people who want that the most are the real diehard fans. Boba Fett is like a super hardcore diehard fan favorite,
and I don't get why. Huh.
I think it goes back to, he looked cool, he's wearing the helmet. What's he about? The old books definitely fed into that as far as lore and stuff. What could be behind it, and he's a bounty hunter. He's a real rebel, and the whole thing, and no more disintegrations from Darth Vader tells him no more disintegration and stuff, and I people loved him. I don't know,
right.
Just the biggest thing I ever got of my brother, he's so cool, the jetpack and rockets, and dude got eaten by a sand monster. Getting hit in the back of his jetpack by, I think it was a blind. Yeah, it was Han Solo with a stick, a blind man with a stick.
Oh, therein lies the legacy.
For the longest time, the Sarlacc pit has confused me. If you think about that, because the whole thing is, as you will be devoured slowly for 10,000 years, right?
Right.
How the fuck are you living? There goes an F-bomb.
Am I gonna have to give you the Luke Cage jar?
Yeah. How are you living for 10,000 years, though? You ever wonder that?
Well, I think you're not supposed to...
Is it feeding you and then devouring you?
Well, I thought it was the idea that you're just, like, processed for 10,000 years. I mean, hey, look, for all we know, you have a specialized digestive system that, as it starts to break down something or, like, emulsify it, maybe it's just surrounded in some kind of coating that acts as a hyper preservative, for all you know. Hey.
The whole thing that was chilling to me about that was like, oh my god, for 10,000 years. And then as I got older, I'm like, wait, you're not even gonna be alive for most of that. Like 99.9% of it, you're gonna be dead. Yeah. Who cares?
Oh man. Yeah, Sarlacc biology, man. I'm hoping it's not that scenario
Sarlacc
yeah.
biology.
I hope it's not that scenario that I just painted out. That it's the way its digestive enzymes, its system works as an additional preservative to keep you alive for a super super slow death. Maybe, of course, not all 10,000 you'd feel, but yeah, let's stretch that out. Maybe a couple hundred. I don't know.
I don't know. It's dumb.
I don't
A
know.
lot of people point at the first act of Jedi and just like, it makes no sense. Nah, it's all right. It doesn't have to make sense. So, came out in '83 is for kids.
Yeah, done deal. Like Transformers.
What do you think? What do you think about all this stuff, though? I just ranted about a bunch of stuff. What do you think about all this stuff that I said?
Episode 9, bring it. I mean, enough said. Look, there's so much riding on that movie, and everything that's going to depend on it. It will take more than returning cast members, me including Billy D. Williams, someone, myself included, people have really wanted to see for a long time. But the pressure to get that right, to do that well, I think is something that should supersede the rest of these spinoffs and everything else. It's good to have our the plans on the books and stuff like that. But man, I say all hands on deck. Episode 9. Look, I don't work at Disney. I'm not part of that team at all. Anyone working on Star Wars, but I even got my fingers crossed for this. And it's interesting as I look at this, as far as the patience of a fan base and how it can on the spot explode from a bad trigger. And I just look back. Even some of the other things that looked egregious in the past, a lot of people didn't like. Tons of, well, I can't just say a lot. Jar Jar Binks was not a favorite at all.
No,
I'd
say he.
But in the same hand, Jar Jar Binks did not crash Star Wars as a franchise. That was something that the series was still able to go on from it. And I'm interested as someone who is, I can't call myself any kind of very hardcore canon invested fan. Looking at this more from the outside looking in, and just seeing that kind of visceral reaction and where Star Wars is at now from effectively one film, man. I've heard of loyal fan bases and things like that, but this is, people just don't have the tolerance for, I think, a mistake that grand.
Right. I mean, it's a monumental mistake. Do I even need to frame it?
No.
And that's just talking about Luke, not to mention everything else.
Right.
Just a beautiful movie, but horrible storytelling.
Well, fine.
So, yeah.
I'm just gonna drive my opinion at hyperdrive right through that movie, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah.
Everything else. So.
Why is there even a war?
That's my takeaway. That's my takeaway from episode 8. So
just set your ships on autopilot and take an escape pod and watch it blow up planets by smashing it in with hyperdrives. That's
oh boy.
Good luck.
It's funny.
We're gonna review this, right? We're gonna review episode 9.
We have to.
Yeah,
we have to.
This is
regardless of what's going on. This is one of those cinematic events that comes along, like maybe a few times in your life. We've been blessed enough to experience a few already. Even recently here with Avengers, but. This is going to be one. Either way you cut it, you got to be there. You got to be there to see what comes of this, what happens. So
yeah. All right, let's talk about other stuff now.
See, and you were worried. You're worried that I cut stuff. This is why. Because I mean, it's a big topic to engage with, man. It's a whole lot in it. So, spinning over into gaming. Checking out a brand new controller that's on its way out from SCUF Gaming. It's looking like almost a cross between an Xbox pad and a PlayStation 4 pad. This is called the Vantage controller. and this is being marketed as, I kid you not, a controller to up your game in Fortnite. Yeah.
Can
So
I say something?
yeah, hit it.
I have no interest in this controller. I told you about the GameCube, right?
You did.
I had a GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember why I got rid of that GameCube?
No.
Because the controller was practically inaccessible to be used for a left-hander. And this controller goes in that direction.
Yeah. The idea with the design, as we've known for years with the shoulder buttons and the face buttons, you've got these 4 triggers on the back that can substitute for your some of your face buttons. Either triangle, X, circle, square. You can map some to R2, L1, all that good stuff, basically to free that up. I mean, I'd have to actually sit down and see how that feels, but I someone that plays fighting games, I can't even see much of a need for that.
Yeah. Did you catch the cost on this thing?
Yeah.
What was it?
It's up there, man. Here, throw me a ballpark. What do you think it is?
All right, I'll go with 90.
Higher.
150?
Higher.
No.
Yeah.
No. I was gonna drop another F-bomb.
No. $170.
Why? Why?
And check this out. That's the wired version.
Oh,
Now-
that's the one. Oh, God.
Now,
Do not tell me that the wireless is anything more than $10 more for that.
Oh,
tech.
no. Now, if you want wireless tech, now, Chris, you're pushing the envelope here. If you want some of that fancy newfangled stuff, all right? You want your protective case. You want your low latency wireless. That's $200, man.
See, now here's the thing. You don't get a lot of third-party hardware anymore, especially controllers. That's been dead since the PS2 era.
It has.
So this is not made by PlayStation, but they've given them the specs. They've given them the go-ahead.
Yep.
So which means that they're going to make a profit off of this, at least by some percentage. Whatever. At the end of the day, if people want it that bad, go for it. But
Yeah.
I did not, outside of my personal feelings on it, because it's even less friendly for lefties. I watched this and I'm just like, okay, that's kind of neat that things are kind of interchangeable.
Right.
That's interesting.
Right.
It's what I say is a potato head controller, something like
Yeah,
that.
potato head. Yeah, that's what she called it.
This thing, this is, I guess it's not exceptional enough in any way for me to fork out more than if I really wanted to, $10 or $20 more.
Right.
Where is it? Where's the tech? Where's the tech that's making this thing 4 times more than a controller?
Right.
Did you see it?
Besides the mapping and the switch out, the custom setup, and the way those back triggers work, like with the paddles, I really think that's what's pushing it. This reminds me of what arcade stick players get into. Now, I do want to preface it with this. Look, SCUF, they are no pushovers. They are not foreign as far as custom control makers for competitive level play, stuff like that. That's their thing.
Yeah.
So this is not their first rodeo with that. It's a good name behind it. It's a good strong brand, a good strong backing. But I think you get a combination here between the interchangeability, what you're able to do with parts, and the paddles. I think that's what's really pushing it. Arcade stick players deal with this. If you want to, let's say, pick up a stick, and then you want to start changing out your buttons to get higher responsiveness. You want to change out your joystick. You want to change out your wire to get a better connection. You can customize all that stuff and go about it, or rebuild certain things about the board to get calibrated to what you want, depending on how you play. I mean, this is really, really, really specific level stuff. If you're playing to that extent, and if you want to narrow it down like that, well, there you go.
It just seems like overhyped garbage to me.
Neither of us, neither of us play Fortnite, too. So if you're taking it or something near it to that extent, all right. But yeah, I don't.
I don't know. I used to love. I mean, dude, back in the day, PS1, PS2 stuff. I mean, I used to buy accessory stuff all the time.
Oh
If
yeah.
it just even
Oh
kind of
yeah.
looked cool, it was like, hey, that's $20, and it looks like it might do one thing that would be interesting. I mean, I was accessories all over the place with that. I miss those days. I wish we could do that. I I wish I had like a $20 Mad Catz PS4 knockoff controller. Oh my god, it,
Oh man.
but it is what it is. But this thing, it seems like shit. It seems whatever. But if people want it, go for it.
Yeah, sure. My question
I have
is
zero interest in this.
my question is where this is going to go in infamy, because there's some controllers that live on and that become just immortal legends. I kind of think we're beyond that age now, but I want to highlight an example that the fighting game community venerates. That's the PS2 Saturn controller.
I would sooner get an Atari VCS before I got this.
That controller, that controller is known for the D-pad. It is in large regarded as one of the best D-pads ever made, and people will pay $250, $300 easy plus for that at this point. Heck, we're probably even going into 400 more. So
I'll say this as well. I mean, for $200, this thing better be compatible with the next gen.
I agree. I agree. That's definitely a frustration.
Yeah, we're 2 to 3 years away from next gen systems.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And I think at this point, if we're not at making a type of USB cross compatibility at least, that would really concern me. I know.
Hell, I better be able to drive my car with this thing.
Yeah, right.
And forget the steering wheel. I should just be able to sit in my car with my controller. And I'd get it. I'd actually buy it then. I'd buy that. This little screen there. That thing could be a little screen. I could see where it's going. Drive it from home. Go get my McDonald's.
So, hey, if you're huge into Fortnite or something else along those lines, go check this out. Maybe this is the tweak you really wanted, but
don't check it out.
No, dude. Hey, if you're into it like that, hey, we come from a very, very underground game. So
yeah, and you know what my friend did to mod his controller?
What?
He used glue and a popsicle stick, and it works perfect. You know what that cost him? Cost him like $3 for like the Elmer glue and a popsicle.
Back in our day.
I wish I was joking, but that was
no. I know you're serious. No,
whatever. I mean, whatever though. Honestly,
yeah.
But yeah,
there you go. The Vantage controller. I don't see an advantage of it, but
yeah, advantage to the creators.
Yeah, clearly, clearly. Go get yourself a PS4 pad and be happy. The PS4 pad's an awesome controller. That. Yeah. This is a little piece of news here about Quake. Anybody out there who's a Quake fan, if you'd been keeping an eye on either the Bethesda conference from E3 or just Quake news in general, you might have seen this little snippet about Quake Champions and a download exclusive exclusive offer that was recently going. So if you took advantage of this, good for you. Then this means you got a Quake game forever now, and you probably don't really care listening to this piece of news. But if you didn't, this might make you feel kind of salty. So the news is Quake Champions itself, it's not quite gotten its official launch yet, or on our way to. Now, at least now the free play period, back just yesterday, I think that got extended up to. It was June 25th. Anyway, look, the early access version of this costed about $30 USD, and despite the final game being free to play, but Bethesda made an announcement way earlier on. We were still looking at E3 that this was going to be free up until June 18th. That got pushed down the line a little bit more. If you check this out, if you actually went to do the download during that week of the 18th or before, you could get access to this for free permanently. If you missed out on it that week,
So I'm a little confused. What are they getting access to free?
to play Quake Champions once it fully launches. It's going to cost you about.
Oh,
It's going to cost. It's a small deal. It's going to cost you about $20 the whole thing.
okay.
But if you downloaded this within a certain date, it's free. You'll never have to pay for it at all, including it being free to play as well. So
Okay, well,
it's
that's interesting.
yeah, kind of a little cool thing for Quake people. Usually,
Yeah.
the age of little windows for stuff like this happening is really rare these days. I normally don't see that coming up, and I mean I haven't tuned into Quake since I think Quake 3, but still, little neat tidbit riding right off of our E3. So, cool.
All right.
And last but not least, the last little piece of news was for releases we have coming up now. So you know, February 22nd, 2019 is going to be a big day. That's a big deal. And it's not just because of Anthem that's coming out. That's one thing that a lot of gamers are going to be looking at. But this is going to be surrounded by some other big releases. You got Metro Exodus, Days Gone, Crackdown 3, and Trials Rising all hitting on the same day. Now, here's what's kind of crazy, you know, about days packed up with releases. We were looking at this beforehand, and Chris made a good catch. While there's still some more, you know, DLC stuff for Nintendo games, like and some Super Mario Odyssey things coming out. The last date I remember that I could find at least for all these big games coming out on the same day was October 27th, 2017. On that day, you had Super Mario Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Wolfenstein 2 all out at once. So stuff gets pushed back, stuff changes. Okay, if everything goes according to plan, February 22nd is going to be a pretty amazing day. These titles are all going to have some room to duke it out. We talked a little bit about this. Anthem needs to hit at least second in this. Days Gone is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Just looking at these four.
Wait, now, so let me ask you again. What's the Wolfenstein thing that's coming out?
Oh, so the Wolfenstein one, I should clarify. The Wolfenstein one is out already. Wolfenstein 2. It's just...
Is this an expansion, DLC?
New. So Wolfenstein 2 was out October 27th, 2017.
Yeah, it's been out for a while.
Yeah, that was in the last time we had on one day a bunch of AAA games all came out together. I'm just kind of comparing it to that. So
what's coming out again? Anthem, Days Gone,
Metro Exodus, Crackdown 3,
and what else?
Trials Rising.
All right, so go ahead. I'm still looking some of this stuff out. I'm doing some research.
Our research and suggestive studies show. Oh. But you know, looking at these, the ones that I know I've looked at the most are Anthem, Metro Exodus, and Days Gone. I personally think it's going to be between those three. Trials Rising I think that's a goofy off the wall game. If I were to rank these where I think they're gonna hit, I'd have to say, golly, Anthem's got a lot riding on it. If Anthem really blows up at the beginning, it could overtake Days Gone, but in all likelihood, Days Gone is the one that seems slated the best. So I'm just gonna say Days Gone, Anthem, Metro Exodus, Trials Rising, then Crackdown 3. I could be wrong about Crackdown. I've just never known Crackdown to be ultra prolific. They're fun and all that. There's plenty of action and things that happens, but it's hard for me to see Crackdown taking on Days Gone or Anthem. So
Days Gone is going to win it, and it is solely because people are still really bitter with EA.
Yeah.
Had EA not shit the bed the way they did with Star Wars, Anthem would clearly win here. But you've got guys like me.
Yeah.
And you're going to have enough of guys like me to where we're either not going to spend any money that day or we're spending money on something else. I was going to be there right there with you. Anthem.
Yeah.
Release date. And you get enough guys like me who's like, you know what, EA? Suck it.
Fair enough. It's
So
warranted.
I'm gonna be getting Days Gone because that's been on my list for forever, anyways. And that's the other reason, not just that, but also because Days Gone has been in development for years. People have been really happy with watching its development for years. The people are really excited to get their hands on it. I noticed from E3 your excitement for Days Gone went up tenfold.
It did.
Just because of what they're doing with this whole thing.
It looks awesome, just from the everything you're able to explore. Not just the open world nature of it, but with the amount of tactics that goes into this. You have the day-night cycles, you have all the terrain, using about any building you run across as cover, the insane hordes of zombies you run across, using your environmental destruction, explosives, and things like that to slow down the pack. It's going to be crazy. Looks cool, though. So, digging it.
Yeah, sorry, Anthem. I was on the train. I was on the train drinking I was in the fancy little bar area drinking a martini. Ian and I were both dressed like we're in what
Javelins?
Oh, sure. No.
Yeah, sure.
No, we're dressed like uppity steampunk people.
Yeah.
From the Revolution days, and we're just like, I cannot wait for Anthem, and it's so awesome. And it's like EA just takes a giant smelly shit on all their fans. And I was like, and then you look over at me and I'm full of shit. And it's like, I'm gonna get off at the next stop.
I'm gonna go towel off. Oh man.
When does Resident Evil 2 remake come out? I'm looking for that right now because I know it's just before that, isn't it?
Should be. I know it's going to be before it.
It's January.
There you go.
Isn't it?
Should be.
But, yeah. I'll be playing that, and then I'll go from one zombie game to the next.
Yeah, into January 25th.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just enough time for me to play the crap out of that. And then start the new one.
There you go.
There's so many zombie games, man. Some of them are good. You know what? Something that we missed that Jason showed me, because we're talking about zombie games and stuff. There's a World War Z game coming out.
Whoa!
Very, very similar to, very similar in concept.
That could be
to
cool.
The Walking Dead game in concept, as in your 4-player team co-oping, playing, trying to set up traps and stuff and deal with the zombies. Similar in that concept, but completely different gameplay. It looks decent. We'll see. We'll see. I'm very disappointed with Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Very disappointed with that, especially since it's coming out for $60. I'm sorry, I will be playing you when your price goes down. Right now, unless I see some serious changes, I will not be playing that until the price drops. But yeah, I'll have to show you the footage after the show.
Throw it to me.
Looks fun. So it's kind of interesting where they take the story elements from the book, but then they use the zombies from the movie because it's a video game and fast walking zombies and running and viral zombies and stuff. So
Right.
Yeah, it looks like fun so far.
Good stuff.
Yeah. Zombies and zombies and zombies and zombies.
With zombie sauce.
Yeah. You're going to be playing Anthem. I'm going to be nonstop zombies 2019.
Yeah. And my Anthem, that could, lose support at any time. But, oh well. That's the state of things these days.
Not if you buy your loot boxes.
That's true. If you do that, man, all about the profit.
Hey, speaking of Anthem, though, I'm sure there's at least one collector's edition. Have you looked into that yet?
For it, I have not.
Okay,
but they're definitely
sure there's at least one.
Definitely should be.
Will you be doing that?
No.
No, you're just gonna buy a regular, straight up vanilla game.
I'm gonna be vanilla.
And I've decided that's what I'm gonna do for Soul Calibur 6.
That's fair. Look, I only do collector's editions for genres or like franchises I'm really invested in, or that I've had enough time with to warrant that, or I know that brand enough to warrant it. Good example, Arxis games are amazing. So yeah, I did collector's versions for after I got the first 2 Blaze Blue games. Holy crap, yeah! Every time I saw one come out, I do a collector's edition for that. I do When Marvel v. Capcom 3 hit, I did a collector's edition for that once they came out with Ultimate and all that. But it takes a certain level of dedication. I'm not willing right now to go for a collector's with Anthem out the gate.
I know I'm buying you the Spider-Man Collector's Edition.
Yes, because that deserves it.
That you're gonna get different suits. I know one of them's I think one of them's the Iron Spider suit. Another one's the Spider-Man Punk suit.
It's gonna be awesome.
That game is gonna be awesome.
Now that I would go collector's edition for, but no, Anthem's gonna have to bring it. If this is something that's really solid, that holds its weight, that proves itself, that actually has some staying power, maybe we'll look at an expansion down the road.
You want to jump into that action MMO pool a little bit, don't you?
Yeah. We'll see what's there. I got plenty of that MMO stuff to play already right now, but I am more than willing to tickle my sci-fi itch a little bit here. So
nerd.
Proud of it. So nerdy that I think it's time for an info minute. You held it. I love it. Oh man, this info minute is all about malaria.
That's my favorite.
All about mosquitoes. Let's narrow it down some more. All about Bill Gates, Melinda Bill Gates Foundation. So
what?
Yeah. So check it out. Bear with me here.
Okay.
Bill Gates is pouring a little over $4 million into a project to create and help engineer killer mosquitoes that kill each other through propagation.
I am with you on this now. You got me.
He has been if you followed Gates and the causes he supported, especially through his foundation, malaria is something that he has targeted heavily, and he's been unrelenting about this. He's really wanted to sit down and help stamp this out. And this is a bold bid to do so, as we know this is something that's carried through infected mosquitoes. Only female mosquitoes will actually bite you. So here's the cool spin to this, what they're actually looking at doing, and his claim is, what the aim of this project is, to eradicate malaria within a generation. It's awesome. The idea is to make genetically modified male mosquitoes, and once they do mate with their female counterparts, the offspring will not be able to mature. And if anything, they die off. It will be due to a self-limiting gene that gets passed on. So the offspring never makes it to adulthood, and the mosquitoes just end up dying, and the females do too. So what's cool about this is mosquitoes themselves, you only got to worry about the bite once they become adults, and of course, an adult female. So actually stamping that out at the source, this would be amazing. I mean, I'm not, there's a lot of people out there that have issues about, genetic manipulation or editing or gene editing and that kind of thing. This is bold, and this has some history to it as well. Gates has supported this foundation, this group called Oxitec, in their work towards killer mosquito projects. I mean, back in 2010, he gave $4.9 million to push that too, and malaria is a big deal. This is something that kills over 440,000 people every single year, gives all kinds of really crappy complications, and I mean, mosquitoes on just a pest basis, I mean, they're really not doing a whole lot for us right now anyway. So,
I don't like them.
So I say, hey, go Gates. This is awesome. This is ambitious. This is some Musk-level stuff, and I hope he hits his goal.
Well, and, it's not like if we screw it up and, it's like, wow, geez, now all the mosquitoes are dead.
Right.
And now we need mosquitoes for stuff. We can just make more. We can just hey, my bad, and he'll pay for it. He'll be like, that was my bad. Here's some more mosquitoes for you. These are mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So, I'm for it. I hate mosquitoes.
Same.
Yeah.
Never stand them, but
get them out of here. Even though they led us to dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
I never got back with you a whole lot about that. You enjoy it? It was all right. It was all right. Yeah.
It's conflicting because it's the fifth movie, and it's really starting to show its age.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there were some interesting new elements in this. Seeing Star-Lord with a dinosaur, that's pretty cool.
That's got to be fun.
Yes, I mean, whatever Chris Pratt's character's name is, Star-Lord. He's Star-Lord in every movie.
He is. He always plays the same character because that's basically him.
Yeah.
It's great.
So now he's got a dinosaur. It sucked because when I got there, this one was packed as well, just like Incredibles. The theater was packed, but I did manage to get a seat this time.
Oh, you weren't sitting on the floor?
No, I was sitting on the stairs this time. I did manage to get a seat, but I ended up sitting around a bunch of ham bones and a bunch of high school, they were just like, "Roof," and they're like, "Go blue." And they were talking and they were yelling, and their girlfriend's like, "He's so cute, he's funny," and just like reacting to everything he was saying. Whether he could have said he shit his pants, and she would have been like, but it was pretty annoying. They were really loud, but yeah. And I was sitting. I mean, honestly, the worst part of that was I was sitting next to a kid, and his dad was next to him. And I mean, they're swearing and stuff, and saying some pretty vulgar stuff right in front of right around this kid. Look, if you enter into our show, you're gonna find out real quick, that if just for my personality, I'm gonna say whatever I want to say, even though I'm trying to watch the F-bombs. But I mean, you're in a theater watching a PG or PG-13 movie, and there's a kid right in front of you. You know what? You don't need to be saying the F-bombs around the kid.
Right.
It's. Everyone's, you're all stuck in this room because you want to watch this movie. Just, be respectful of that.
Yeah.
I was kind of pissed about that. The kid was loving it though. He was having a good time, and like there
of course
was,
he was.
There was a point where some really heavy action stuff happened, and the good guys got away with something, and he's like, "Yes!" And the kid's like, "Yeah!" And he raises his hand up in a fist. He's like, "Yeah!" All right. Good going, Star-Lord.
Oh man,
it was okay.
Cool.
If it does anything, it sets up what will probably be a really interesting finale to the trilogy.
Cool. All right. Well, that is going to do it for us for now. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to stay right here for our upcoming reviews on some of our shows, other movies that are coming out. We just wrapped up Luke Cage.
Oh,
recently. Yeah, booked through that. Golly, that was a feverish pace to knock that out. But we got
that. Was like legs day at the gym.
It was.
And
I was gonna say I was off a little bit because I had to catch back up beforehand to make sure I'd seen everything I needed to in season 1, and I was like one episode shy when I came back. So like as soon as a couple days before I saw this is coming out. Like, all right, let's make sure I'm in place. And then when it came out, I was like, all right, let's just hit it. Stayed up late and get her done. So
it's good. No, it's good. It was a lot of fun.
It was. So solid watch. And of course, other than that,
Sweet Christmas.
Sweet Christmas. I want to be saying that about our upcoming gaming stuff too. We're going to have a whole lot to do with that. So stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated and posted with everything we bring out. But in any case, hey, you all take care. Take it easy. And thanks for listening. Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, or anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it's great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find. Maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.